Ohio State vs. Maryland live stream. Watch online. TV channel. Kickoff time. Prediction. Expert picks. Number 4 Ohio State welcomes in Maryland in a Big Ten clash. It's the first time the Buckeyes have taken the field since their thrilling come-from-behind last-second victory over Notre Dame 2 weeks ago on the road. A good chunk of the country expected Ohio State to reach this Week 6 matchup undefeated. But Maryland has surprised many by also coming into the game unscathed. While nobody is surprised the Buckeyes have won their first 4 games, Maryland has flown under the radar a bit this year. The Terps are off to a 5-0 start thanks to an offense scoring 38.6 points per game. That's the second highest scoring average in the Big Ten, trailing only Penn State's 40.6 and ahead of Ohio State's 34.5 point average. 2 of those Maryland wins have come in Big Ten play, including last week's 44-17 win over Indiana. You may remember the Buckeyes struggling, offensively, at least, with the same Hoosiers team in a 23-3 win in the season opener. The Terps have also won a road conference game, blasting Michigan State 31-9 2 weeks ago. Ohio State vs. Maryland. Need to know. It's not the longest streak in the nation. Alabama hasn't lost at home to an unranked team since 2007, but it's still quite impressive. It's also a nice reminder about how exhausting the college football playoff discussion gets because Ohio State's last loss at home to an unranked team was to Virginia Tech in 2014. You may remember that game as the talking point every fan and pundit who didn't like Ohio State hammered you over the head with as a reason to keep the Buckeyes out of the playoff. You probably also remember that the Buckeyes made the field and then won the national title. Maybe that's the secret? I don't suggest trying it, but the question must be asked. Taulia Tagovailoa had as many TDs last week as Kyle McCord has all season. It doesn't really mean anything, but Tagovailoa threw for 5 touchdowns and rushed for another against Indiana last week. McCord has thrown for 6 touchdowns all season. Granted, McCord wasn't named the full-time starter until the 3rd game of the season, but it's worth pointing out, as is the fact 3 of McCord's touchdowns came against Youngstown State. He didn't throw any on the road against Indiana or Notre Dame. I'm confident this will change going forward, but considering his weapons at receiver, it raises an eyebrow. Will the Terps get to 6-0? History suggests otherwise. There isn't a long history between these programs. The first meeting came in the 2014 season when Maryland joined the Big Ten. They've played 8 times total and Ohio State's won all 8, usually by a healthy margin. The Buckeyes have won by an average of 34.75 points per game. Their only one-score game was a 52-51 win at Maryland in 2018. You may remember the game for all the sideline shots of Urban Meyer looking to be an absolute agony. Thanks for watching NY Sports News. Stay tuned for more updates.